The Grand Assembly of Sarakthuin was in full session, and laughter echoed across the amphitheater as the human envoy stood silently, holding a small, worn scroll. The Sarakthuin were an ancient race, tall, scaled beings with gold-ringed eyes and ridged foreheads. They called themselves the Keepers of Knowledge, heirs to the oldest known civilization in the galaxy. No species had ever dared challenge their intellect, let alone their claim to being the sole historians of the stars. And yet, here stood a human, Ambassador Elise Tran of Earth, on the speaking dais of the assembly, holding what they believed was nothing more than a novelty item. A decaying parchment from an archaeological dig on Sarakthuin's forgotten outer moon. "I warned you humans were fools," Chancellor Kothan rasped, tapping his claw against the edge of the dais. "You bring trinkets into halls of legacy. You presume to lecture us on our own past." More laughter. Sarcastic gestures rippled through the crowd. Elise remained silent. She reached into her satchel and unrolled the scroll carefully. A hush crept over the chamber, not out of respect, but curiosity. No one had seen that language, Old Hythanari, in over 5 millennia. It was lost, dead, and deliberately so. Even the modern Sarakthuin didn't speak it. Until now. Elise opened her mouth, and in a voice clear and deliberate, began to speak. "Krinator Val Sundar. Drakalen Thursday Morak." The silence was instant. The words, though spoken by a human tongue, rang with impossible accuracy. The cadence, the rhythm, it was as if an ancestor had returned. Sarakthuin delegates leaned forward, stunned. Some stood in disbelief. The Chancellor's ridges flattened with horror. Elise continued, her voice echoing in the domed chamber. "From fire we came, from stars we rose, but wisdom lost is strength opposed. Those who silence the past will find it speaks loudest at last." She rolled the scroll closed. For a moment no one moved. Then an elder, gray-scaled and nearly forgotten by his peers, stepped forward from the shadows of the assembly's rear. His eyes shimmered with tears. "That was the first oath," he whispered, "taught only to the guardians of the flame, lost when the flame tower fell." "You shouldn't know those words," another counselor said sharply, eyes narrowing. "But we do," Elise replied, "because we listened where others dismissed. We didn't mock your history. We respected it." Chancellor Kothan's voice cracked like glass. "This is an insult. You dare dig through our tombs, speak our sacred oaths, like tourists." "No," Elise said firmly. "We learned because knowledge isn't owned. It's shared. We didn't come here to embarrass you. We came to remind you who you were, who you could be again." She gestured to the scroll. "This wasn't found in a tomb. It was gifted by one of your own, forgotten in exile, who still believed the truth mattered." Suddenly, the chamber's holographic walls shifted. A projection lit up the space above them. A recovered map, star charts, poems, artifacts, all translated into modern Thanari, annotated in Terran Standard. "We've spent years working with your refugees," Elise said, "the ones cast out for preserving the old ways. Together, we've rebuilt over 70% of your ancient lexicon." A stunned silence swept the room. The assembly had no rebuttal, no insult, no mockery. For the first time in generations, the Sarakthuin remembered humility. The elder who had stepped forward earlier bent one knee and bowed his head. "We forgot ourselves," he said softly. "You reminded us. And for that, we owe humanity a debt that cannot be measured." Elise stepped back, letting the truth settle. In the days that followed, Earth was no longer viewed as a curious newcomer in galactic diplomacy. The species once mocked as primitive and reckless had shown what no other could: reverence for the forgotten, power through preservation, and the strength to speak even a dead language. And from that day forward, whenever the Sarakthuin told their story, they included a new phrase in their tongue. Ka Threnhal Terran. The humans remembered.